What's up, guys? Welcome to the video. Today we're going to be doing the stock Uzi versus the stock P90. These are the two most common submachine gun floor loot pickups you can find in Warzone this season. So therefore I figured it was a good idea to break these two guns down to figure out, if you come across both, which one's the better choice. Alright, let's get into it. While the game's loading in, I just want to thank you all for clicking on this video. If you're new, please like and subscribe. I'm on the journey to 100. But also, if you're new here, or if you just want a recap of what we do on this channel, what we do is we break down different gun builds as well as we test guns at a stock performance. So what that means is we test the ADS speed, the mobility, the hip fire, the recoil stabilization. We test all of those things to find out in Warzone or not which gun is the best at a base performance. Because if it's good at a base performance, then when you start adding those attachments to rather enhance its close range or its long range, if it's good from the base, it's typically going to be your better gun because you can use attachments to alter it in either way. So today we're going to break down the Uzi and the P90. As I said before, it's because these are the most two common guns found in the submachine gun class in Warzone. But since these guns are so vastly different in a 32 round mag and a 50 round mag, I'm going to shoot the P90 down to be 32 rounds so they match. And the reason for that is if you shoot 30 bullets on one side and you're comparing that to 50 on the other, then there's going to be a big difference in the performance. So I got to narrow that down to be able to compare them accurately. All right, so right out of the bat, the Uzi's looking way better from a performance perspective. So let me break this down. So hip fire spread. This is me just shooting from the hip, not compensating, not pulling down, not moving the mouse, just straight up hip fire. And you can see the cluster here is way tighter than the P90. Okay, so from the aiming stability, so this is important because when you're shooting people at range, if the gun naturally kicks a lot, then that means that when you're shooting them, you have to compensate for that kick. And the Uzi is way better. I mean, the P90 going from here all the way up to here means when you're shooting at range, you're really going to have to compensate by pulling down and to the left. Whereas the Uzi, it's just pretty much straight down and barely. And that is directly why me trying to compensate for that, the Uzi is a lot more tighter of a spread than the P90. It's pretty close, but I'm also using a mouse, so it's a lot easier for me to compensate. But just straight out of the bat, you can see that the Uzi is definitely the better choice within these. So we're going to try to capture three things: mobility, fire rate, and ADS speed. So for ADS speed, I'm just going to aim at this box at ADS and just kind of do a visual comparison. I'm not going to do anything fancy. So that's pretty fast. That's really close. I have to give it to the P90. I think the P90 is faster here. Right now we're going to jump into mobility. So once again, 32 for the rounds. I'm going to line up with its edge. I'm going to shoot and move to the right and see how far I can get. Oof. You can see that stability kicked me over the edge there, but I think it's all good. It's going to work out. All right, now we're going to do the Uzi. Holy cow. That is a huge difference. Right out of the bat, the Uzi destroyed it. Out of all the gun comparisons I've done, I've never seen a gun win by that much. The Uzi's mobility is practically double the P90. Wow. See, we're going to test the fire rate. So I'm just going to shoot, and once again, I'm just going to kind of listen to the audio and try to figure it out. Yeah, you can tell very easily that the P90 has the better fire rate. So for the final breakdown, for the conclusion, let's go ahead and go through everything one last time. So right out of the bat, stock, the Uzi is destroying the P90. Better hip fire spreads. The recoil is very minimal compared to the P90. Then you come over to the mobility. Once again, the Uzi destroys the P90, almost doubling the mobility speed. Then the P90 comes in, taking the ADS speed and the fire rate. So in a fight, if it were me, the Uzi wins hands down. With that being said, the Uzi is the winner. It won in all categories except for two. So with that being said, if I were to build a class between these two, I'm going to pick the Uzi. And since the Uzi lost in fire speed and in ADS speed, those are going to be the two things I work on. I'm not going to be able to increase the fire speed with my attachments, but what I can do is I can put grips and stocks on there that help me increase my ADS speed, and then And though I can't compensate for that ADS speed, what I can do is where the Uzi's only a 32 round mag and the P90's a 50 round mag, that's going to be an opportunity there for me to bump my magazine capacity up so that it helps compensate for that fire rate by matching the amount of bullets that I have. But then again, I don't think having a bigger mag's really that big of a deal, because if you're going to be hitting your shots, you don't need that many, right? And thank you guys for checking out the video. I hope this breakdown taught you a thing or two. If it did, let me know in the comments below. And also, go ahead and recommend what 2 guns should I do next. And or do you have a build out there that you want me to compare? Do you want me to start looking at like Shroud's build versus Summit's build, or Shroud versus Jadak? You know. All right, have a good one. Peace.